Warning, this video contains spoilers from the ending of Kingdom Come Deliverance.
We're here.
We're here. Oh my god. Hello!
Hello! This is really weird being interviewed by you because I've been watching yours.
Oh,
And now I'm like, oh, I'm the one. I'm not watching someone else. Very weird.
you're the subject now.
I know. What world do we live in?
I know, right? It's weird. Before we do any interview, there's always one question that I ask.
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry right now.
No, I'm not. I've had a protein shake in readiness for this interview, so I have some energy and I'm not hungry.
If you could have anything right now, what would it be?
What, like drink wise or food wise?
Food. Let's say food. If I offered you an infinite buffet, what would you pick?
Oh god. I'd probably, because we've been talking about chocolate orange, probably the Terry's chocolate orange. That'd be right on my street.
That is good.
Yeah,
That is very good.
it is.
Hey, welcome into our interview with Luke Dale, aka the one, the only Hans Capon.
Capon.
Hans Capon. How's it going? How are you dealing with lockdown and everything?
I wouldn't say I'm dealing with it. It's dealing with me. I'm just sort of like, floating around. It's not fun, is it? Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie. It's not fun. But,
No, lockdown has been quite difficult, and for people who need to work, I mean, especially I'm guessing actors, like that must be hard.
well, actually, I'm more so a filmmaker now. But yes, equally as hard because no one's doing anything. It's crazy. No one's doing nothing. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, I'm trying to keep busy.
So our first question comes from a good friend, I think for both of us, and this comes from Sir Toby, and they say, on a scale from 1 to 10, why is Luke an 11?
If I'm an 11, right, it's because he makes me an 11.
Oh.
If he's a 6 and I'm a 5, let's just say that.
Yeah, Toby's definitely up there, isn't he?
Mm.
Toby is definitely up there.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Did you spend a lot of time with him when you were doing Kingdom Come?
I wouldn't say we spent a lot of time with him, but I spent the time that I did spend was pretty magical. We had a pretty raucous night out, and he got me far too drunk on a night where I was working the next day.
Oh.
And I was like, this cannot happen. He was like, it'll be fine. You're a professional. I was like, well, I was a professional until then. And you're making me not professional.
What have you done to me?
Changed the game. And we went to a few bars in Prague, and it was a late one. It was a late one.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. I went out to Nottingham with Toby, and
You went out in Nottingham with him.
yep.
Oh my goodness.
I travelled up there because I went to visit Knights Arcade, another amazing YouTuber. Definitely go check them out. And Knights Arcade, and we met with Toby, and we also met with Henry of Skalitz, who's another YouTuber.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. That night was amazing. We ended up getting pretty wasted after going to an American food joint, and then went back to Toby's 5-star hotel and just got even more drunk in the hotel bar.
He'll do that to you. That's what he does.
In terms of Prague and stuff, like how much time did you spend in Prague?
Well, over the past, maybe 3 or 4 years, I would go out like every few months. The first time I went out was when we did all the motion capture stuff. So that was like the longest period of time. I think I was there for about a week or just under a week. And then after that, I'd go out every few months for a couple of days or 3 days to do the copious amounts of like recording of in-game play, like all the different variations of responses you can give, saying yes 1,000 different ways, that kind of thing. I've no idea how much time I've spent there. Probably a few weeks.
Did you visit any of the locations from the game?
No, I never got to do that. Because honestly, like as I think Tom said, we flew in and out, and there wasn't much leeway. Like you come in, you do the job, and then that night out with Tobes was, that was the only time I ever really squeezed in some fun. I mean, yeah, you get to maybe during the day a little bit of walking around the centre, but other than that, I never really got time to, because you got flights, you got to make flights. So, and I imagine that the locations are pretty spread out because it's a massive place.
They are. I mean, in the game, it's a lot more tight knit, I suppose, because it's compressed. I think it's the best word for it.
Yeah.
But like Ratai is identical to what it looks like in the game. I mean, they did a really good job.
Because I find it so interesting, and you've got this great video where you compare what they used to be like to what they're like, and it's honestly astonishing. The scaffolding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not the same one, but they're still doing scaffolding work.
I don't know. It might be the bloody same one.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "What the? Get your act together, guys. You Czechs need to sort your arse out."
How long is that? Like 1403 to now? It's like, come on.
Builders have been in for a few hundred years,
Of course, I have to ask everyone, and up until now, everyone has said no. So, please say yes. So, Joy Gill asks, come on, someone has to have played the bloody game. Do you play the game? And if so, what's your favourite questline and DLC?
So, I've played the game.
Yay!
But I have not played it to the extent that I would have liked. And I certainly haven't played DLC. And I haven't played like a bunch. Basically, whenever I was free, at the studio, I would ask, and I'd be like, "Can I play the game, please?" And they'd be like, "Okay, you can play a bit." But it was still in its developmental stage, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. As you'll see from that other video I'm in, where I'm playing the game, and Toby's like, "You're terrible at this," and I'm like, "I know." Much like the others, I'm not much of a gamer. I used to be a very big gamer. Yeah, I was well into gaming, but I just stopped because I used to spend way too much time doing it. I had to be more productive.
This comes from Crackbeard, and they ask, can you please ask Lukedale / Sir Hans Capon what his level is on RuneScape?
Well, this is really annoying, actually. I had a super, super high level mage character, and RuneScape revoked the account. And I spent about a month arguing with them until they went, "No, you're done." I was like, I have had this account since I was 12 years old. I've had it since I was 12. I still come back to it now, and I'm 27. And they were like, "You've been using bots." I was like, "I haven't been using bots. What are you talking about?" And yeah, they thought that I'd been using bots to up the levels, which I didn't do, and I couldn't appeal it. They wouldn't have it.
That sucks. That completely sucks, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But you do play the odd video game, so you are already above the others. Victoria and Tom,
yeah.
you win. Well done.
My game experience was, I've got a list actually somewhere of all the games I used to play, but yeah, RuneScape was like the one that I play online, and then I loved Gears of War. I loved Type. I loved obviously GTA, FIFA. I loved Halo 3 was one of my favorites. Need for Speed Underground 2. The list goes on. I was a massive gamer when I was younger. Yeah.
I've been a gamer since day one. Sega Mega Drive, first console. So.
Oh yeah, same actually. Yeah.
Oh really? Wow. You mentioned earlier you're filmmaking. What do you have any other project? What are you working on right now?
So years ago, I made a documentary, which is on YouTube actually, and it went down so well, and I really enjoyed doing it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do more of this, and I got more creative satisfaction out of doing that than I did acting most of the time. And because you have more autonomy and more control when you're a director or a producer or whatever than you do if you're an actor, because if you're an actor, you're sort of a piece of a much larger puzzle. But if you're the producer, you're putting the show on, you're doing it. So I was like, I want a bit more of that. So this last year, I've done 2 projects. I made a short film and a music video. Music video is also on YouTube if you want to check that out.
Something really wrong is going on. Mr. When you are out of order. You're out of order.
The weapon I bring, syllables slinging and letters I fling. Whipping up riffs in the kitchen, I'm whisking, I'm skipping and shindig and penning a string of lyrics and hands and fingers and pies. I leg off a fed up, just throwing the line. Won't let up unless it's a moment divine.
He also happens to be one of my best friends, but he's a fantastic rapper. He's got an EP actually coming out this coming year, and this is just like the first taster single. And we went to France to shoot it. We poured all our own money into it. We it was a big project, but I think what came out of it was tremendous. Was pretty good actually. It looks all right, and I had a blast making it. I was the most tired I'd ever been in my life, but it was good because I drove to France, because the other people on the shoot, no one could drive or they'd been banned from driving, so I was the only one that could drive. So I drove to France from London and then shot the whole thing and directed and shot it. Then drove everyone back, and that was all in place about 4 days.
That's crazy.
It was too much. I remember my feet felt pain that I'd never felt before. It was crazy. Yeah, but no, I think it's all right. But yeah, check that out if you want to.
Yeah, that'll be in the link in the description below, and I'll put it as a card up here. So click this or here. I don't know which way it's going to be. But before we talk about Kingdom Come properly, I wanted to ask about other video game projects. Andy asks, I saw Luke is also a voice actor for Battlefield 5.
Yeah, I was.
What was the difference working on that with DICE compared to Warhorse?
Well, obviously with Warhorse, I'm a much bigger character in Kingdom Come. So I was there more, I got to know people more, and I was sort of treated a little bit more special because I was, one of the lead characters. Whereas with Battlefield, I showed up and was just one of the many soldiers. So I was played a scout soldier. So if you play that game, somewhere amidst the madness, you're going to hear me screaming. You'll never hear me talking because it's always in the middle of battle, and I'm just there like, shoot him. And because what was interesting about it was, and your viewers might be interested to know, but the way they get you to, when you're in a situation like that, which you often are in Kingdom Come as well, they'll give you weights. So when I walked into the Battlefield studio in London, they lined up all the mics. So you had all these guys and girls stood with a mic, and then at the foot of the mic were these big heavy weights. And I was like, what the hell, why? And they were like, well, when you're in battle, or you're being hurt, or you're trying to kill someone, there's a lot of tension in your body, and you can't just manufacture that without lifting something up. Well, you can, but it gets boring. So they give you these weights. So by the end of the shoot, you do 3 hours of lifting weights and screaming at the top of your voice to kill someone, and you're just absolutely knackered. But that was the main difference, really, that they'd done that. You can actually do that at Warhorse too if you want to, but I'd be in there all day. So obviously, like, my back wouldn't be able to take that.
It's all these weird behind the scenes things that I never assumed. You play the game and you never think the actors would have gone through that. It's
yeah. They're very keen on making it feel as lifelike as possible. So often these men, if they're in the middle of battle, are carrying artillery. They're carrying other people. They're carrying huge loads, and to have that extra weight and that tension in the voice really like immerses the audience a bit more.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
How did you get offered the job?
So I auditioned. My agent sent me through the script, and then I did the scene. And I initially auditioned. It was via self-tape, obviously, because they're in Prague and I was in London. And I auditioned for Henry, and there was a scene. I put it up online recently. I took it down there because it's a bit silly.
Could we have that clip and maybe put it in
the clip? Yeah, I'll send you the clip.
We need that. We didn't have that from anyone else. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I have the original audition tape because I sent it to them.
Yeah.
Of me reading for Henry. I've got also the blooper reel of me just not being able to get through it, not because of the script, because my friend who was reading the script with me was making this hilarious face. And I was like, I can't do this while you're making that face. Can you just do it deadpan? And then he'd do it deadpan, and I'd be like, still funny. It's still funny. Stop. Can you turn around? So he was like doing it to the wall, not looking at me. It was not professional.
Both Victoria and Tom said that they had moments that weren't professional, and every time I say, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta,
especially in a gaming situation. I mean, it is fun.
Yeah.
In a game, for Christ's sake. If the process of making a game is not fun, what's the bloody point? I mean.
So here is Luke Dale's blooper reel and audition.
My name's Luke Dale. I'm 6'1". I'm 23. And I trained at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. I found the keys, but someone else has them, the herb woman. She found you in the creek in the morning and wanted to teach you a lesson.
What? I'll make that old crone pay for it.
Wait. She's willing to give them back to you, but she wants to make you come and apologise to her in person.
What? Not a chance. Are you mad?
Just go and apologise to the poor old woman. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You're supposed to be setting people an example.
Have you forgotten who you're talking to, lad?
I have not. But don't you forget, I can tell everyone in the village a fine yarn about how the drunken bailiff fell in the creek and how an old crone got the better of him.
Hey, you!
Yes, sir. How may I be of service to you, Grace?
Tell me, fellow, where can I find an inn in this godforsaken place?
Well, there's one not too far from here, but you have to go back to the crossroads and take the path through the woods. I'd be glad to show you.
Oh, very well, lead on.
Sir, may I ask where you've come from?
From Doncaster.
Doncaster. I see. I have cousins there. Pray tell, what news of Doncaster?
Oh, nothing much. It's rather a dull town.
Dull, is it? Yeah, nothing to do there, I suppose, except rob the bodies of the slain.
Watch your tongue, boy. That's no way to speak to a noble.
Noble? You, sir, have as much nobility as the carrion crow that feeds on the carcasses of the dead. You, sir, are nothing but filthy murdering swine. Now get down here and face me like a man. If a cur like you can be called a man, I will cut your black heart from your chest and feed it to your brothers, the scavengers.
Hey, you!
Yes, sir. How may I be of service to you, Grace?
Tell me, fellow, where can I find an inn in this godforsaken place?
So I can't do it. There, I suppose, except rob the bodies of the slain.
Watch your tongue, boy.
We can cut that, it's fine.
Watch your tongue, boy.
Try giving it me deadpan. No feeling.
Okay.
Maybe that'll help.
Watch your tongue, boy.
I'm never gonna do it. Nothing to do there, I suppose, except rob the bodies of the slain.
Watch your tongue, boy.
Try again. You know what? Don't look at me.
Okay.
Don't look at me. Just read it. You, sir, have as much nobility as the carrion crow that feeds on the carcasses of the dead.
No! Hey, you!
I can do it. I can do it.
So they came back to me after I'd sent that and they said, we like it, but we don't like him for Henry. We like it for a different character. So they flew me out and I went to meet them. And this was they hadn't offered the role.
Yeah.
It was like going for an audition in another country, which I found very strange. And it was like, there's a lot riding on this, because if I don't get this now, if I don't impress them now, I'm flying home without a job, which is just really like weird. So there was a lot of pressure in that moment where I sat down with Dan, Barbara, and the team, and he basically just wanted to see me read it and believe me and believe that I was this guy. So I read it. They gave me like 5 minutes to read through the script. They were like, right, have a go. And then came back in and I read it and they were like, all right, welcome to the team. And then shook my hand. I was like, okay.
Right now.
Get in the booth. Yeah, so that's how it all happened. And then, yeah, a few weeks later or a month or so, I was out there again. doing the whole mocap. I was very lucky. To this day, I don't know why they chose me, but there you go.
I think they chose you for a good reason. I think you are a brilliant Hans Capon. I don't think Hans Capon would be the same.
Thank you. I do really enjoy it. I do.
We've had many questions about Hans Capon. I think the first main one, it's the one that people want to hear you say, I think, is what's your favourite line from the game?
There's something in the ball scene I like. The next time you try to tell me I can't kill a ball with an arrow, you can fuck with the ball runs. So I love that bit.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly the scene you're talking about.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just so much, and it's been. You forget that it's been so long ago that I actually recorded all the cutscenes as well.
So do you remember the scene in the bathhouse?
Yeah.
Where you get completely wasted with Henry in the same bathtub,
Yeah.
And then Archibald comes in.
Oh yeah, how can I forget?
Yeah, arson balls.
Yes, people. I think people like that bit. Don't they?
Yeah, that was literally a majority of the comments were just people typing arson balls. So thanks for that, guys.
Arson balls, yeah, it's a good one.
Did you actually have to sit in a bathtub with Tom Mckay?
No, I sat in a metal scaffolding rig that was in the shape of a bathtub, of like a square, like jacuzzi type thing, and we had to pretend we're in water, which I found really weird and difficult. We had to, like splash water at each other that wasn't there, and like sit in this tub. It was just weird. It was just so much of what you do in that room is so weird.
Wow. Okay, because I know a lot of it is obviously kind of obviously imaginary, but it's all about visualizing where you are. So that must have been quite difficult at times, visualizing these scenes.
Yeah, you work with them as much as you can to get a good idea of where you are and what you're doing. But like, yeah, with the ball scene, for instance, you know, there's no. Well, they actually give you. I think they gave me a prop to use with the bow and arrow to help me physically do it. But like most of the things that you're doing, like when I'm riding a horse, I'm just on a chair, just on a high chair. I'm doing this. Yeah, it's just so much of it's just completely bizarre.
Please say that they gave you some coconuts.
Some coconuts for what?
Yeah, to tap together, you know, for the horse noises.
No coconuts.
Wait, have you not seen Monty Python?
I have. I haven't seen. I don't recall that bit though.
Holy Grail.
Oh no, I haven't seen Holy Grail.
Oh no! Holy Grail's the best one. Holy Grail is great because they're literally just running and they're just tapping these coconuts together to make the horse noises.
Rings a bell actually. I might have seen a clip of that. Yeah.
Mum and Dad Gaming asks, how difficult is it to grow your character within the confines of the script? Well, I think Victoria said that she had quite a lot of interpretation of Theresa, and she was able to mold that character to her own thing while sticking in the same script, but obviously ad-libbing a little bit. Did you end up doing that?
I don't recall doing a lot of improv because the script, you've got to give credit to them. They've written a really good script, and sometimes I think embellishing can ruin that. I'm not saying that that's what Victoria did. I'm saying that you should only really be doing that if it feels right, and it never really did for me because I felt like the script sort of said it all, and actually the script was enough. It spoke for itself, and I think if anyone like watches that character and the progression of Hans, it's nothing to do with me personally. I'd love to take credit for it, but that is all in the writing. That's the skill of a writer. It's how they develop a character, and that's one of the things that people always say about Hans is that I bloody hated him at first, but he made me like him, and that's good writing. That is. I just have to make him believable. That's all I do. His character arc's fantastic. So
That's one of the main questions: is why are you such a douchebag?
yeah, blame the writers.
Blame the writers.
No, I mean it's a brilliant idea, you know, that you've got this character that at first you hate and then you begin to love, because it's hard because your first impression of someone is hard to change. So to change that is pretty impressive. Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed that kind of. I think it was the quest where you and Henry go on that kind of trip into the forest with the boar, and you've got that hunting sequence where you have to try and catch as many rabbits in the time limit. How many rabbits did you catch? Did you imagine how many you would have caught in that sequence?
Oh god, probably not very many. The bear to get
bare minimum. 2. What is your native accent, and how did you manage to give Hans Capon his noble accent?
So my native accent's this. If you know Sean Bean, you'll know that this is what he sort of talks like. This is where I am right now. Actually, I'm back home with my parents in Sheffield. Broad Yorkshire lad. But of course, Hans speaks a little bit more plummy. And that is from years of training and accent work and, basically just, going to school and learning how to do accents, pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's how quick you did that. It was just interesting.
It's just that's the only thing I can do. But yeah, he obviously he's regal, he's royal, and he needs to be a slightly heightened what they call RP here.
In terms of Hans, do you think that he would have gone on to make a good lord? Like he would have gone on to do big things in his future?
I do. I think in the game he already shows promise, and that's why people come to like him. I think because they realise that the spoiled nature is just a bit of bravado, and that's just a part of being a kid. But actually, when it comes down to it, he cares about the realm, he cares about the throne, he's involved in the politics. He does show maturity and bravery. And actually, in real life, the character that he's based on went to fight in so many wars and actually died from being in battle, from having wounds and stuff. Well, that's what they think he died from anyway. So, I mean, for me, I think any man that is willing to go off, especially who is royal, and go off and die in a war with his comrades is pretty decent bloke. He doesn't have to. Surely, like, he could have come up with an excuse and said, "Look, I'm a king or I'm a prince. I don't need to go to battle." But he goes and fights with his men, and I think he's clearly a good bloke. He's clearly a leader.
That's really interesting, because I looked up Jan of Perkstein, and Jan was most likely born in 1388. Yeah. And that gives declare that he came of age in 1406. So obviously Hans is actually younger, I suppose, than we've seen in the game.
Yeah. I was told that I'm playing someone younger, but don't worry about it too much, because if you can, there's only so much your playing age can stretch, but they didn't seem to mind it too much that I was a bit older. But yeah, he's supposed to be a young lad, but a bit of a petulant one.
One of my favourite scenes is where I think it's where Tom or Henry goes into Ratai to tell everyone to turn off, not turn off the lights. That doesn't make any sense. There's no electricity. Turn off those lights. Then when he goes to close down all the taverns, and you're just there, just having a nice time with your friends.
So Hans, forgive my intrusion, but I need.
Oh, but what? You want to join us? Want to buy us around? I'm afraid we don't drink with peasants. You're not in your village now, boy.
No, sir. Curfew's been rung. The alehouse is closing.
Nothing closes while I'm sitting here.
The bailiff instructed me to close the tavern at the proper hour. He doesn't want anyone disturbing the peace after curfew.
The bailiff? The bailiff can kiss my arse. I trust you haven't forgotten who's the rightful lord of Ratte.
No, it's Sir Hamish.
Oh, is he here? Or is he hiding under the table, maybe? No! Then what he wants isn't worth a fart in a bathhouse. And besides, he's only in charge till I grow up.
Which clearly hasn't happened yet.
That was a really fun scene to do, actually.
How easy is it to act drunk? Is that a skill?
It's not easy, actually. At drama school, I was taught that the way to act drunk is not to act drunk. It's to act like you're trying your best to be sober. So you've got an obstacle, which is, you're drunk, but you're trying your best to articulate what you're saying. And that doing it that way around helps you psychologically. But I found it quite difficult because when you're drunk, you're not aware of how you're coming across. You're usually louder because your hearing's impaired. So that's one thing. You speak louder, but yeah, no, it is difficult.
Lucas says, just tell him I have a crush on him, thanks.
Thanks.
We actually had quite a few complimentary ones. Also, Veronica says, please tell him that he is amazing, I love him, and please ask him what he thinks about Hans' relationship with Henry and what he assumes their future might bring.
Well, they've just rode off into the sunset, so I don't know. I mean, they're gonna, I'd imagine, find the bastard horse son together, and I think that they would end up like just becoming stronger friends and waging war together. I don't know why would you squander that fantastic bromance? I mean, you got to make the most of it.
I think a lot of people are it's like one of the best kind of bromances in a video game, and a lot of people are shipping them too, and that's fantastic. I love it. In terms of actually the ending, spoilers. What exactly? This is Nights Arcade. They ask, what exactly is he going to do the next time I try and tell him he can't kill a boar with an arrow? Also, can you ask him to say, now I'm going to mess this up, but it's the last thing you say as you ride off into the sunset. Do you remember?
Oh yes, I do remember. Audentes fortuna jurbat.
Yes.
Audentes fortuna jurbat.
Oh, that was such, yeah. That's one of my favorite scenes too, because you're like, the music swells up, and you're like, oh my god, it's ended. Yeah. I've got to ask, how is Kingdom Come 2 coming?
Well, I have no idea. And you know what? If they were making it, I don't think they'd tell me.
Well, you've got to be in it, right?
We can be the last to know, because if you think about making a game, they've got to start working on all of the script and everything, and the actual design of it way in advance. They've, if they were to make it, they've probably been doing it since KCD 1 came out. So I don't know. I wish I knew. But
so do we.
Yeah, I wish I knew too.
I mean, I personally right now I'm under NDA until Tuesday about something completely different, not Kingdom Come related. So I know what it's like to not be able to talk about something. Yeah. So what I generally do is just blink. So if you do know anything, then just oh, that's a stare. Damn it! You blinked.
I don't know anything. I wish I did. It'd be great if you were like the person to tell everyone. That would be. I think it should be you, if anybody.
Oh, thank you so much. I wish. Oh God, I wish it was. I mean, that would be so cool.
You should get that. If it was to happen, you should get that privilege. I think.
You hearing that, Warhorse? Hit me up. I could do you justice.
Come on, it's Roxy's time.
Yes, it's my time to shine.
Yes.
I've got to ask then. I mean, if let's say they did offer you another role as Hans Capon, would you take it?
Nah. Of course I would. Of course I would. I would. Oh my god. Yeah. No, I totally would, because the character. I think there's a lot more to be mined out of Hans. There's so much more to see, and he's a brilliant. I think we only scratched the surface with him. So I'd love, if they were going to do 2, I would hope that they would make more of Hans, and I would bloody love to be a part of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic! Because you, in theory, you'll be a pretty damn big part of the game if there was a sequel, because you're the one that's going with Henry.
Yeah. So of course I would. Yeah, I'd love to. Love to.
Damn. There you go, Warhorse.
Come on, Warhorse.
Yeah, come on.
Step up.
Oh my god! You know, when that is announced, whatever, because I know it's going to be at some point, but when it is,
your faith is unwavering. What makes you so sure?
So they stopped working on Kingdom Come, and then started the modding tools around the end of last year, and they told me that they had a second team working on something else. They didn't say what. And they said that Kingdom Come is completely out of development. That's fair enough. But then they got bought out by THQ, was it Nordic and Koch Media? And then they kept telling me, well, there's nothing in development now. No, we're not making anything. I was just like, a big company wouldn't buy a studio that wasn't going to make anything.
They were bought by 2 big companies?
Yeah, well, I think it's Koch Media. I think Koch Media owns THQ Nordic and Deep Silver.
That happened after KCD came out?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
What? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, KCD sold a crap ton. Like, they'd be stupid not to do a sequel. Like, I've told you this before, Warhorse, you'd be silly not to. They've got the assets, they have everything, they've got the knowledge from KCD1, they have everything to go.
Question for you, which I think you'll be able to answer better than me. When you've got a original game and you've done, because I know there were a lot of bug problems with
yeah.
first game, right?
No bugs. What are you on about?
No, there were no bugs.
Yeah, what bugs?
What's a bug? Seeing as if they've already done all this bug fixes. So if they were to make a sequel, would that carry over in terms? It wouldn't be like starting again? I imagine. Like
no.
They're not going to have to. Yeah, they can use all those fixes and transpose them into the.
Well, you've got to imagine it's just like making a DLC. It's just like adding on to the end of Kingdom Come. So they just. Well, I'm imagining it like video editing, so I'm making this video right now, and then I just hit cut, and then I can just continue, and I've learned all of the things from making the first one.
Because then that's going to negate all of the potential issues of, there's still bugs in this.
They used the CryEngine, which is obviously like one of the most popular gaming engines.
Creme de la creme.
Oh yes, it's the most fancy game engine. Screw Unreal. What's Unreal? And they actually had to make it work for Kingdom Come, because CryEngine wasn't built for an open world game at all. So they actually had to build the ability to be able to have this free roaming ability and dialogue and all this kind of stuff that wasn't implemented. So they spent a lot of their time creating a modified version of CryEngine for Kingdom Come Deliverance. Why would they then just go, let's make something else now? You know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Also the fact that they posted that they've got new weapons in from Fate's Day Arms, and also they're in motion capture suits. They've been posting quite a lot of stuff on Twitter.
I think that it could be a different game. Like, maybe they, with elements of Kingdom Come, but they've gone, you know what, we want to do something different, but build upon what we've started.
It's a possibility, of course, but how they ended Kingdom Come Deliverance on such a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, it's begging for a sequel.
Yeah, come on. Like, I can understand where you're coming from, but I don't think that's the case, because why would they not only... Well, they would disappoint their fans. I'm going to be honest. Of course they would.
Yeah.
If they were like, oh, here's another game set in 1506 and it's not related to anything, people would be like, well, what the hell? Like, where's Henry? Where's Hans? Like, what are you doing? Where's Pebbles? Where the hell's Pebbles?
Where's the bailiff?
The bailiff. I'm just there at a walking stick. Bailiff of Biscuit Town.
Oh my God, they have to put you in the game. They would have to put you in the game.
I hope so. I really hope so.
If they did that, that would be outrageous.
I would love a cameo, and I've had so many people comment over the last couple of years, being like, "Oh my God, you need to be in the game as a little Easter egg or something." I would love to just be like a washed-up ex-bailiff who just owns like a little town and is just either drunk or just off the wall. I would love to do that, and then just ranting about biscuits the entire time, and not bloody pretzels. You know, it's all those little things. I would love to do that.
I'm down. I think that's a great idea.
Let's say that I did get offered to work on a sequel, whatever it could be. That means that we probably end up working together. So that'd be cool.
You've got a very good voice for it, you see.
Oh, thank you. I know that obviously in the Victoria interview we talked about that quite a lot. She kind of turned the tables on me because like we were talking and I was interviewing her and then she started interviewing me. I was like, okay, this is happening.
Mark of a good interviewee.
Yes, that is very good. How did you start as an actor? Like what was your motivation to become one?
So I was a bad student at school, much like I imagine Hans. We share a lot of traits. I didn't really have any focus in life in school until I found that I had some kind of talent in acting. So, I was a bad kid. Not a bad kid, but I was a bit naughty. And then my teachers saw me in this play. I did this play when I was very young, about 12. And they were like, he's got something, this kid. He's got something. You should hone that because that's all you got. So I did. And I went to, like stage schools as a kid. And then I went away to drama school. And then I won, after finished drama school in 2015, I won this award. And then after that, I started working. And I was like, okay, well, I'm still doing this. So, like, people still keep saying I should be doing this. Because I'm quite a logical person, actually. And if it wasn't working out, I would have been the first to be like, I'm out. This is not for me. I'm not very good at this. But because the industry or something about it kept saying no, stay, this is what you should be doing, I carried on. But like I say, I've sort of stopped acting a little bit because I started to get a bit fed up with it, and I wanted to start to build a whole new skill set and learn about filmmaking, and I've been enjoying that a lot more. Not to say I'm done with acting, I'm certainly not. Because why spend most of my life learning how to do it? The band and all that at once. But for now, at least. I think filmmaking really informs acting as well. I'll only get better by directing people and producing films, because once you see something from the other side, my God, does it inform you doing it on the other side? Because if I'm saying to somebody, you need to change this, you need to do this, you're not quite hitting this, blah, blah, blah. That's all informing me as an actor for when I come on camera. And then be like, oh, I now know what this director is saying to me because I've been there, if you see what I mean. I'm waffling on.
No, it's good because I like to hear your train of thought. I like to hear the people I'm talking to's train of thought is interesting. Waffle all you like. Plus, it means more content for me. So, how did you expect to be initially received by fans? Were you kind of worried that people would be like, "Oh, who is this guy?"
I'm a slight pessimist, so I think I probably thought people were going to hate me, hate the game, hate the character, think I was not believable, think I was rubbish. I just had all those thoughts, as most actors do, because we're all self-flagellation, actually, like sadists. But I was pleasantly surprised to find that it was well received. I was relatively well received. and it was you can't ask for more than that. You just because we spent so much time on it, and I was like, oh, they don't hate me. That's
If it makes you feel any better, when I first started asking about interviewing people, and I think I said it on the channel, and it wasn't even Henry or Tom that they wanted to see, it was you.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
you know why? I think that's because, and this is the curse of being a lead character sometimes, is that, and Tom has said this, like, you have to play straight. He has to be the voice of reason, because he's playing you. He's playing the gamer. You are him. So if he has too much to say or is too opinionated in one way or another, you don't necessarily identify with him as much. He has to be a vessel. He sort of has to be a clear, open thing, whereas the other characters can be devious or do-gooders or whatever. And Hans, I remember when I walked into the studio for the first week of shooting, I was introduced to a lot of the team, and I think Toby or Katka were taking me around the studios at Warhorse, and I came across the historian of Warhorse. I was like, hello. Like, this woman is amazing. And Toby or Katka, I think, introduced me to her and said, this is the guy playing Hans. And she went, oh, so you're Hans. I was like, what does that mean? She was like, whoo, you're an interesting one. You're a cool little character. I was like, oh my god. Because she was like, yeah, you're one of the characters that I think people are going to really like, because you can get to all sorts of mischief. You're one of the really fun characters. And I was like, yes, that's great news.
Must have worried you slightly, because like, what has this Hans done?
Yeah. No, at that point, I think I'd seen a lot of the script, so I knew I was kind of getting in for. But the fact that her reaction was one of like, oh, you're lucky. You've got a great role. I was like, yes, get in.
I think you did Hans justice.
Thank you.
Like, as I said before, I don't think I can imagine anyone else being Hans. You embody that character really well, and like, I think you're not the douchey side, but I think you're very similar to him in real life, from what I've seen in this interview anyway. You kind of have that.
I think there is a lot of similarities between he and I, actually. Most people hate me when they first meet me.
I don't.
No, I'm joking. No, really. But like, I think that he's a mischievous guy. He's he likes his bevies. I mean, I'm just everything I can do not to open this fridge and get a beer out right now. So, so like, I think it's safe for a studio or for a director to pick an actor that they think is actually a lot like their character, because then you're never having to try too hard to come up with ideas or to be a certain way, because you can access that part of you quite easily because it's all there.
Another big question that was asked is Clara or Karolina?
Oh, wow. Oh, God. You're going to hate me for this, but remind me who Clara is.
Oh, you bastard.
It's a very Hans thing to do, really. Forget.
Yeah, that's the Hans thing to do. No, Clara is the bath wench.
Oh, that's Clara. Sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
I know who you're talking about. I just forgot the name.
Yes.
Clara or Karolina?
Karolina.
100%. Why is it a contest? Why are they asking the question?
They always ask. There has to be one or the other. You can't.
I'm going to say her name is pretty obvious.
How you said it in the trailer was I like Karolina,
Yeah.
like that, right? But like, I ended up taking it and just making it completely over the top and stupid.
I love it. It's brilliant.
Karolina, yeah, you gotta put that. You know, you gotta have a bit of gravel there. It's great. So yeah, that was one of the biggest ones. I think that, yeah, Karolina. How did you kind of work with Tom with that poem scene where you have to read the poem and you're kind of yelling up to her? How was
Yeah,
that.
that was good fun. You can actually see that as well. There's a clip of that that Warhorse took, and they sent out as a Xbox promo. So you can see it, me sort of looking up, and then you see Hans in the game looking up as well. It was good fun. The DLC was great fun, especially because I thought that I'd done, like, once we'd done the game, I was like, all right, well, that's that. And then they were back in touch, like, you've got a DLC. I was like, oh, okay, I'm coming back. Let's do it. So that was really nice.
Same as Victoria, you got your own DLC. That's pretty bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was great fun.
When Kingdom Come 2 comes out, so I'll have the biscuit DLC. Hello, Warhorse. Why were there no biscuits? I don't understand. It was all pretzels. Who eats No one cares. Biscuits are the way to go. And I think this leads us on to the question, what's your favourite biscuit?
Is a Jaffa cake a biscuit? That's the question that we really need.
No, that's a cake. That's a cake. You can't say Jaffa cake.
Favorite
That's a cake.
Jaffa cake. Favourite biscuit.
Biscuit.
Anything with caramel, right?
Anything with okay.
Caramel. Just give me something with caramel in it, and I'll devour it.
Well,
okay.
There you go. That's a very wide answer.
What's some caramel, like a Rocky,
a Rocky? Yes, a Rocky.
Caramel Rocky.
Yeah, my dad loved caramel Rockies. He'd buy like whole packs. Like they come in like the 10-pack, and he'd have them like a whole pack for lunch.
Yeah, I could do that.
So, in terms of kind of the future, like where do you see yourself going? What, like, I know you talked about doing the music video. Are you planning? Are you directing any movies, or are you starring any more video games, or like what's?
Well, acting wise, I don't think I'll be doing anything for a while because I wouldn't know where to start. And also the industry's complete in tatters right now with the whole COVID thing. So, but in terms of next steps for me, I've just finished editing this short film.
You what? I'm all these mine to look after. And the rest of which I can only hear laughter. We're immortal, you see. We're gonna live for eternity. Peacefully. Shut up! Shut up! This isn't a bloody stunt. Stay back now, or we're gonna jump.
So we're going to send that off to a lot of festivals. So we're having the score made for that right now. So there's a composer who's making the music for it. And I think the main preoccupation is going to be my rapper, because he needs a lot of music videos making for him. Because I'm not just his manager, I also kind of make his music videos. He gets a pretty sweet deal out of being with me. So I'm going to be working with him a lot over the next year to make, because he's got this unbelievable set of new music coming out. So I'll be working on those music videos. So stay tuned for that if you want to. Shameless plug.
No, you're allowed to plug.
Yeah.
We always do it at the end of every interview. We always allow the plugs, of course. Of course, you're allowed to plug. Plug away. You have a Twitter, right?
I do have a Twitter. Yeah, I have an Instagram.
Ooh.
So yeah, follow me on there.
Links in the description below, everyone. Do you have a YouTube channel? Are you doing YouTube?
I do actually. It's where I put my documentaries, so you can go find that if you wanted to. And just like my showreel and a couple of other things that I use for my website, but I don't make YouTube content. I think I don't have anything interesting to say. So
I think people would disagree, but
but yeah, in case I ever do anything, you can follow me on that.
Oh my god, I just had a great idea for a video you could do. Cool. You could do Hans Capon in lockdown.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could. Okay, Hans Capon's top 10 games.
Yes.
Could do.
Oh my god, yeah. Have you played Farkle?
Played what?
Farkle.
Farkle?
Wow, hang on. So, okay. The game that's in Kingdom Come Deliverance, I thought Toby would have had you on this immediately, because you know the dice game that's in Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Yeah.
That's actually called Farkle. That's the official name for it.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because Toby is a big fan of Farkle. He says he's the Farkle master, which I'm gonna destroy him when I meet him again. I love that game. It's incredibly addictive. It's one of my favorite parts of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Weirdly, so you haven't played it?
Never played it. Wouldn't know
really, There's an app actually. It's called Squires. I think it's called Squires Dice. Which was made by a fan of Kingdom Come, oddly enough, and it's really, really good fun. So what I was going to say is next time that Toby, when this is all over, obviously, next time that Toby comes back to the UK, because he comes to the UK constantly for press and stuff before all this happened, we should all meet up and play Farkle. That could be fun.
100%. We should go out, get really, really drunk. We'll reenact some scenes from Kingdom Come.
Oh my god.
We'll go to a bathhouse. We'll just have a great time.
Yes.
I'm down.
You heard it here first, everyone. That's gonna happen. Thank you so much for doing this.
This was an absolute pleasure, as I knew it would be. You're a fantastic interviewer.
Oh well, thank you for saying that. I'm glad, because like when I started this, I was like, I'm gonna like pause and not know what to say and be sat there looking for questions for hours, and then it kind of worked itself out.
No, you should trust yourself. You're really good. Really good.
Thank you so much. Right. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you again. And if you want to know who the next people are that we're going to be interviewing, now I don't know if you know these people, Luke, but I'm going to be interviewing 2 people in one interview, which is going to be interesting. So, they are Jan Volta and Adam Sporka, who are the people who made the music for Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like...
So many awards, the music, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it nailed it.
Like, the music is a massive part of my channel. Obviously, and behind every video I have their music playing. It's amazing. I'm glad they haven't copyrighted me. So thanks, guys. Yeah. But yeah, so they're the next people I'm going to be interviewing. And I'm so excited to be doing that. But until next time, that's me and Luke. Oh, ow, I hit the microphone. There. Is it there? I don't know. There.
This guy.
That guy, yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.